everyone. This is Zainb الكاظم Salman, an assistant professor, doctor from Stansaria University, History Department. This lecture is divided into two parts. In the first part of the lecture, I'm going to explain about the tense system, which contain auxiliary verbs, modal auxiliary verbs, and full verbs. As for the second part, I'm going to explain about English tense usage, which contain time, the simple aspect, the continuous aspect, the perfect aspect, active and passive. There are three classes of verbs in English: auxiliary verbs, modal verbs, and full verbs. Number one, auxiliary verbs are be, do, and have. Be is used with verb plus ing to make continuous verb forms. For example, you are laying. And present, they were reading. And past, I've been swimming. And present perfect, we'll be having dinner at 8 o'clock. In future, you must be joking in an infinitive. Number two, be is used with the past participle to make the passive. These books are printed in Hong Kong. And present, where were you born? And past, the cars being serviced. And present perfect, the city had been destroyed. And past perfect, this work should be done soon in an infinitive. Do, does, did are used in the present simple and the past simple. For example, do you smoke? In a question. She doesn't understand. In negative. When did they arrive? In a question. Number two, do, does, did are used to express emphasis when there is no other auxiliary. For example, I'm not interested in sport, but I do like tennis. If only she had a car, she does have a car. Why didn't you tell me? I did tell you. Have. Have is used with the past participle to make perfect verb forms. For example, have you ever tried sushi? In the present, my car had broken down before. In past, I'll have finished soon. In future, I'd like to have met Napoleon. In an infinitive, having had lunch, we tidied up. In participle. Have and have got. Number one, have and have got are both used to express present possession. For example, do you have any brothers or sisters? Have you got any brothers or sisters? Yes, I do. I have two brothers. Yes, I have. I've got two brothers. Number two, have to can be replaced with have got to for present application. For example, do you have to go now? Have you got to go now? Yes, I do. I have to catch the bus. Yes, I have. I've got to catch the bus. Number three, only forms of have, not have got, are used in all other tenses. I had my first car when I was 19. Another example, I've had this car for 2 years. I'll have a strawberry ice cream, please. I'd had 3 cars by the time I was 20. I'd like to have a dog. He loves having a sport car. Number 4, have, not have got, is used in many expressions. For example, have a breakfast, have a bath, have a party, have a good time, have fun, have a word with someone. Number 5. Have got is generally more informal. It's used more in spoken English than in written English. However, they are often interchangeable. Have with the do, does forms is more common in American English. Other uses of auxiliary verbs. Number 1. In question tags. For example, it's cold today, isn't it? You don't understand, do you? You haven't been to China, have you? Number 2. In short answers, yes or no alone can sound abrupt. For example, are you hungry? No, I'm not. Do you like jazz? Yes, I do. Did you have a nice meal? Yes, we did. Has she seen the mess? No, she hasn't. Number 3. In reply questions. These are not real questions. They are used to show that the listener is paying attention and is interested. For example, the party was awful. Was it? What a pity. I love hamburgers. Do you? I hate them. I've bought you a present. Have you? How kind. Number 2. Modal auxiliary verbs. These are the modal auxiliary verbs. Can, could, may, might, will, would, shall, should, must, ought to, need. There are auxiliary verbs because they help other verbs. They are different from be, do, and have because they have their own meanings. For example, he must be at least 70. It means probability. You must try harder. It means obligation. Can you help me? It means request. She cannot have got my letter. It means a probability. I'll help you. It means willingness. Ring. That'll be the postman. It means a probability. Number 3. Full verbs. Full verbs are all the other verbs in the language. For example, run, walk, eat, love, go, talk, write. The verbs be, do, and have can also be used as full verbs with their own meanings. For example, have you been to school today? I want to be an engineer. I do a lot of business in Russia. The holiday did us a lot of good. They are having a row. Have you had enough to eat? In this part, I am going to explain about English tense usage. English tenses have two elements of meaning, time and aspect. Time, the time referred to is usually obvious. For example, English people drink tea. It means all time. Sheh, I'm watching this program. It means now. The second sentence is I'll see you later. Future. I went out with Jenny last night. Past. Number 2, sometimes a present tense form can refer to the future. For example, I'm going out tonight. Present continuous for near future. The train leaves at 10 tomorrow. Present simple for a timetable. If you see Peter, say hello from me. Present simple and a subordinate clause. Number 3, sometimes a past tense form can refer to the present. For example, I wish I could help you, but I can't. The simple aspect. Number 1. The simple aspect describes an action that is seen to be complete. The action is viewed as a whole unit. For example, the sun rises in the east all time. When I read the book, I'll lend it to you. Complete. She has read higher. Permanent. He always wore a suit. A habit. It rained every day of our holiday. The whole 2 weeks. This shop will close at 7 this evening. A fact. Number 2. Remember the verbs that rarely take the continuous. This is because they express states that are seen to be permanent and not subject to frequent change. Verbs of the mind: know, understand, believe, think, mean. Verbs of emotions: love, hate, like, prefer, care. Verbs of possession: have, own, belong. Certain other verbs: cost, need, contain, depend. 3. The simple aspect expresses a completed action. For this reason, we must use the simple, not the continuous, of the sentences. Contains a number that refer to things done. She's written 3 letters this morning. I drink 10 cups of tea a day. He read 5 books while he was on holiday. The continuous aspect. The continuous aspect focuses on the duration of an activity. We are aware of the passing of time between the beginning and the end of the activity. The activity is not permanent. For example, I am staying with friends until I find a flat. Temporary. What are you doing on your hands and knees? In progress. I've been learning English for years, and I still am. Don't phone at 8. We will be eating. In progress. Number 2. Because the activity is seen in progress, it can be interrupted. For example, we were walking across a field when we were attacked by a ball. Am I disturbing you? No, I am just doing the ironing. Number 3. The activity may not be complete. For example, I was writing a report on the flight home. I didn't finish. He was drowning, but we saved him. It means he didn't die. Who's been drinking my beer? There's some left. There is some left. Number 4. The action of some verbs, by definition, lasts a long time. For example, live, work, play. The continuous gives these actions limited duration and makes them temporary. Hans is living in London while he is learning English. Another example, I'm working as a waiter until I go to university. Hinman has been playing well recently. Maybe he'll win Wimbledon. Number 5. The action of some other verbs lasts a short time. For example, lose, break, cut, hit, crush. They are often found in the simple. For example, I lost all my money. I've crushed your car. Sorry. She's cut her finger. He hit me. In the continuous, the action of this verb seems longer or habitual. For example, I've been cutting the grass. It means for hours. He was hitting me again and again. Note: we cannot say sentences such as I've been crashing your car because it suggests an activity that was done deliberately and often. We have now the perfect aspect. The perfect aspect expresses two ideas. Number one, the action is completed before another time. For example, have you ever been to America? It means sometime before now. When I arrived, Peter had left. Sometime before I arrived. I'll have finished the report by 10. Sometime before then. Number two, the exact time of the verb action is not important. The perfect aspect refers to indefinite time. For example, have you seen my wallet anywhere? I've lost it before now. Will have arrived by this evening. It means before this evening. The exception to this is the past perfect, which can refer to definite time. For example, I recognized him immediately. I had met him in 1992 at university. Active and passive. Number one, passive sentences move the focus of attention from the subject of an active sentence to the object. For example, Shakespeare wrote Hamlet in 1599. Hamlet, one of the great tragedies, was written in 1599. Number two, in most cases, by and the agent are omitted in passive sentences. This is because the agent is not important, is not known, or is understood. For example, my car was stolen yesterday. This house was built in the 17th century. She was arrested for shoplifting. 3. Sometimes we prefer to begin a sentence with what is known and end a sentence with what is new. In passive, the new can be the agent of the active sentence. For example, what a lovely painting. Yes, it was painted by Canalito. 4. In informal language, we often use you or they to refer to people in general or to no person in particular. In this way, we can avoid using the passive. For example, you can buy anything in Harrods. They are building a new airport soon. 5. There are many past participles that are used more like adjectives. For example, I'm very impressed by your work. You must be disappointed with your exam results. I'm exhausted. I've been on my feet all day. Many thanks for listening.